Okay, so I'm going to start recording. We are security class. We are starting Badstore, and we're going to extract the IP address from it so that we can configure Kali Linux to access it via IP address or host name. And as Barracuda has registered badstore.net as a host name, we'll have to manually configure it for Kali Linux before we try to access the website via Firefox, so everything works great. What I'm going to do is just run an IP config, and whoops, that's Windows. I failed. And this is an old Linux, so IP address list doesn't work because it's antique. If config works. Interface config. So go to file settings. It must be the ISO. CD DVD is empty. And your network adapter is off. You need to power it off. Hit cancel and power it off. The black button. No, not that one. You'll have to start it and hit the black button. Yeah, click the green button. And then click the black button. The black button is the only thing that'll let you edit. Turn off. Kill it. There you go. Okay, file settings. You're not the only one that's done this. So click on network adapter. No, left side. Yep, under that. There you go. Under that. And then click remove. And then click apply. Okay, now go up to add hardware. And then click legacy and add. And select bridged. And then go and apply that. Now click your DVD drive. DVD. You're good. Image file. And then browse. And then you'll find what? Oh, you're on my, go to your C drive ISO. Badstore. And then okay, and start it up. It's okay. I already know where all the stuff is. You're telling somebody click something on the screen, like, where is it on the screen? So everybody should be 10.10.1. I'm pretty sure everybody's 10.10.1. That's what my DHCP server's network is. So you really just have to look at the last number there. Well, you may not be able to remember 10.10.1 because you've not taught the class and set the DHCP server up and run this for several semesters. So you may not know about the 10.network, but 10.10.1, and the last number is 81 on mine. You make sure you record yours down and not mine. So I'm going to bring up Kali Linux. Am I still recording? Yes, I'm still recording. So bring up Kali Linux. I didn't get the first class recorded because Zoom decided to start going weird and crash on me again. I thought it had something to do with the LAN 1 class. Still could be some like capacitors or something going bad on my computer. It's 6 years old. So are your computers. So Kali Linux, I'm going to open up a command shell in Kali Linux, and I'm going to make sure that I am root. Oops, wrong Alt tab. I was going to try to find my chat window. It disappeared. There's my chat window.
You disabled it, didn't you?
No,
Oh, you just said you were going to disable it.
I said I can't see it because it's normally behind other windows.
Oh, okay.
It's really hard for me to find, and then I can't see if you're chatting because there's nothing on the screen that flashes. It all stays hidden. So yeah, so we're going to edit a file through the command and chat. For those that can be hard seeing on the remote. So use the VI editor at the command prompt, and I'm double checking that I've got a pound sign or a hashtag. Hashtag root. Okay, calm down. And I'm going to edit the host file. It's in the Etsy folder. There's also one in the Etsy folder in Windows. You just have to find the Etsy folder. It's buried. Microsoft hid it. They didn't want people to have a Unix background. So VI Etsy host. I hope you remember the VI editor. I tried to tell you we'd use it in other classes like security and system virtualization, and probably even in LAN class. So I'm going to edit that file. It'll open up, and there should be some 127s in there. If not, you've opened the wrong file. And it should also have like Kali localhost. So this is inside of Kali, not the Badstore. I had somebody try it in Badstore. I was like, nope, you're in the wrong one. Okay, we're going to insert, which is the I, and that'll let us add a new line. I just hit enter and hit the up arrow key. So I'm going to type up here at the top line. Remember, you got the 10.10.1 network, and then whatever your IP address is. So you may have to look at your Kali again. I think mine was 81. Host, HOSTS, with an S, plural. Yep. That's it. When we hit enter, it should have that. Then I for insert, hit enter, go up a line, so you're typing at the top line. And put the IP address that from your, you're putting the IP address of your Badstore that's running. So when your Badstore started, you had to do an ifconfig, figure out its IP address. And just backspace them, and then yeah, don't use your number pad. That is definitely weird when you're remoting in. Okay, now you should be able to type. So yeah, I'm using the numbers at the top of my keyboard because my number pads, even the enter key is not working very well. No, you're not 81. Whatever your every Badstore is going to be a different number. You got to run ifconfig in your Badstore and find the address. Yep, that's what yours says. Yep, that sounds right. That you would be 85. Most everybody in here is probably in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. Then my other class was in the 60s, so 1 out of 40. They were weird. Okay, so I'm going to tab over. What is happening? Okay, tab over www.badstore.net. .net, not .com. It's easy to put the wrong one. And I can just space and put in badstore.net, and I can put space and just put in Badstore, so that it can be accessed by any of those three alphanumeric text up there. There's no numeric up there, but there's symbols, the period. So if I ping badstore.net or www.badstore.net or just badstore.net, it will go to the IP address of my Badstore. This is a file that we may have to check as we play with Badstore on future days. We may have to come in and start a Badstore, do an if config and see if the IP address has changed or not, because it is DHCP. There's a likelihood that it can change. You may have to edit the file, but the only thing you'd have to change would be the 81 or 85 or whatever your number is. Do you remember how to save?
Yeah.
So I have to escape and a colon and a little W and a little Q, writes and quits. There's also a shortcut, Shift ZZ will also save it. However, that's kind of dangerous because if you hit Control Z, it backgrounds it and you have to know how to foreground it. And sometimes it creates a temporary file and you have to delete temporary files and reopen it and answer questions and they're hidden and then you start crying because you don't know what you're doing. And so colon WQ is a good thing to remember. I for insert, escape, colon WQ. Good combination. Colon Q to quit without saving is another cool one. I think I told you to remember from operating systems class. All right, how's Talon doing? Looks like he's got his in there. He somehow has got, just hit colon WQ several times until it stops whatever it's doing, or escape colon WQ. It's recording. I don't know how you got into recording mode. I'm sticking there too, and I don't know what causes that or truly how to get out of it. I just know hitting escape and typing colon WQ several times finally gets me out of there.
See, it's even harder for me as I cannot see live what the computer is doing.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I think I have.
Let me take control. Stop typing.
Okay.
Something's going on with your keyboard. I don't know what.
Thank you. It would take forever.
Okay, yours works. Yours works. There's your new tab. You'll need it.
Thank you, good sir. I appreciate that most certainly.
I'm gonna test, make sure that it actually works. I'm gonna ping it first. I'm gonna do a ping. What? Okay. Ping, and I'm gonna do a ping count of I guess 1. So ping -C1. And of course that's a switch. -C is a switch. So this rounded by spaces, the 1 is how many times. Then I'm gonna type in W's. Not for George W. Bush, but for World Wide Web. Badstore.net. Yeah. I'll see if it pings and resolves the IP address, and I got to return back, and it says great. 1 packet transmitted, 1 packet received, 0% packet loss, 0 milliseconds. That's some pretty good latency right there. No, actually time was 2.8 milliseconds total. Okay, that's still some pretty good. 2 millisecond, that'd be awesome. Everybody pinged successfully? I need to tell you on you did. I've already pinged yours. Okay, now we can go to the browser window and we can open up a new tab. and we can try to go to badstore.net.
Oh, can I buy illegal stuff from here? That would be so cool.
You say buy illegal stuff?
Yeah, isn't that not why they call it Badstore? It's a store that's bad that sells illegal items like all kinds of machinery,
Not the case.
military, and drugs and stuff.
That is it's a bad coded site. So this is Gasco Brothers store. It was actually, I think it's pretty sure, yeah, it's California. Pretty sure it's California. It was like one of the first stores or something. Maybe, I don't, maybe not one of the first stores, but in California. I mean, it's back in the 1800s or earlier. And California didn't really have anything until the gold rush. I mean, San Francisco, San Diego, something like that had like 500 people population back then. Then the gold rush hit and tens of thousands of people showed up. We want money. So yes, they were one of the early stores back in the day. And it's a museum now. You can actually go, I looked it up because I was wondering, I wonder what that is. So I searched Gaskill Brothers and found it, and there's a whole history thing on it. But our key is that actually comes up and works. That's what we're wanting to see. And then we're going to run a scan against it. Yeah, I think it's because you didn't put the W's in front of it. I think just delete and then leave the badstore.net and hit enter. Yeah, yeah, delete that part, the CGI to the end. And I took control of your machine. I think that's what it was. I was like, my mouse slowly moved and it jumped it down. Okay, well that doesn't look good. It went to Barracuda. That is. Did it not ping? You didn't try to ping it? Zero received. It didn't work. There it is. Now you'll just have to close out the web browser and start it up again. Yeah. Okay, now you have to open up another tab, top 127. Yeah, and hit enter. So you can have our scanner back up and going. Okay, so badstore.net should come up on the screen, and we're going to run a scan against it just to see what type of vulnerabilities show up. I had 21 vulnerabilities last time I scanned in the first class. Somebody had 40 something vulnerabilities when they scanned it. And a couple students had 0 because the Badstore crashed before they could finish the scan. It is some bad code and it's from really old. So yeah, let's go and go to Greenbone Security Assistant in the Firefox browser. Go log into it. And we're going to create just a standard scan against it. We're going to pretend like we're an outside hacker and we're just scanning for what possible vulnerabilities we could see. It's so vulnerable that I don't know that we can scan for them all. Like I said, it may lock up. And pretty easy. If you click on the scan link, which is where I'm already at, and I use the task wizard, a little magic wand up there. and just launch the simple task wizard. And I can put in the host name is www.badstore.net. Yep, just regular task wizard. We're only ask you one thing for the host name or IP address, and I'm going to use the host name. And I'm just going to click start scan. And that'll have a scan requested. Once you get the scan requested, that's probably going to take a good 10 minutes. So we can take an early break. And wait for this scan to show up. Then we'll come back and we'll look at some of the simple exploits, some of the first exploits we can do with Badstore out there. There's a lot of stuff. And we'll get to see stuff. See stuff that you've heard about. So you don't have that installed.
Mr. Goodman, mine's at 82%. Does that mean my website crashed and it's going by quickly?
I don't know. Normally it goes slower if it crashes. You can always click on what's new on the badstore.net site to see if it loads up the what's new page to see if it's still running.
Yeah, it's still working. I guess it's just, I don't know. That's so weird.
Okay, well, that was about 10-minute break. So let's check back at our scans and see what happened. What is Haley doing? Mm-hmm. No, that's the other Haley. Okay. Remote issues. That's what's going on. I don't know if a scan was run, but it looks like Badstore may have. Does mine doing that? No. Badstore looks like it.
No, I wasn't here. I was driving Monday, and so I had to make the Badstore, and this is what has come up.
It looks like it's burning. That's a lot of CD. You just reset when it does weird junk. And hopefully it won't do anything weird. That's weird. maybe.
Mine, might be 520.
Adding BS package. I don't know why it's doing that. That's weird, but I think it's working.
Oh, well, yeah, that's one.
I don't know what that one count thing's doing. That's weird. Okay, so there's my scannet of Badstore. Oh, there's my badstore.net, and I'll click on the last report link, which is the date under the last report column, and comes up. I only got 17. That's worse than my first scan from last class. Anybody get better than 17?
Wait, how you say that again? What you said about the little report?
Yeah, the date. It's under the report column. There's the date of the last report. Is my Badstore still running? Yeah.
49 out of 107.
You got 29?
I got 40, like 17 now. They changed.
Hmm. You may get more than 17. So this all is talking about HTTP, SSL vulnerabilities, TCP timestamp issues. The other class, they found CGI vulnerabilities. There's like 49 different flaws that it found. So I'm not sure why that this wouldn't find as much. Maybe the CGI did not respond. Wasn't able to determine the vulnerabilities just because Badstore's got its purposely clumped together bad coding techniques. What did you get, Brian? Same amount. Same amount on that one. 107 things. Wow, everybody's pretty consistent. Oh, I didn't mean to remote control. There's 19 out of 111. Haley got different stuff. She didn't say, I got something different. So you found 19. That's good. That found more. That's how many I think I found 21 or something like that the first time I scanned in the other class. Let's makes me want to run another scan. We got time. Let's run another scan and take another. Let's do an advanced scan. Target name. Yes, badstore.net. Target host. We can do other stuff too. No, we don't have to take another break. Let's do we'll do full and very deep scan. We'll just start immediately. Don't worry about any credentials because we don't know of any. Yeah. They just don't seem like appropriate names for scan titles.
Yeah, full and very deep.
There's just something that doesn't sound right about it. So I'm going to click create. Yep.
You did a full and very deep, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
So that's been requested. And let's go on over to, well, I don't know if Badstore will even survive. I'm going to go and click on Badstore and we can look around on Badstore. So like I said, this here is a site that they put together all the really bad coding techniques that they've seen over the years. And things that's been allowed. Like what's new? So what are they selling here? Snake oil, a magic rabbit, perfect code, return on investment calculator. That's a Ouija board. Planning template. Yeah, I could understand that. Dartboard. Money. Those are $1 bills, by the way. You know, $9,500. They'll give you a stack of $1 bills. It's about $800 worth right there, maybe 400 or 800 bucks. Endless cup and disappearing ink. What? Give me $9,500. I'll give you $800 in $1 bills. Yep. Because it's laced with crack cocaine, just roll them up and sniff it and you're good. Well, I did hear that they tested dollar bills before and they said, yeah, like 80% of them have like crack cocaine on them. Back when that was back in the 80s when that was a huge deal. And that's what y'all have seen in the movies. They just roll up a dollar bill, sniff crack through it. What? Okay, let's talk about one. Let's search for something. Magic. Do they sell magic there?
No, I don't.
So this is bad coding on badstore.net. I searched for a product and I've just now located the first real bad coding already. It comes up and it shows me the SQL command that would have been sent to the database server to search for magic. That's bad because now I know that there are columns called item number, short description, long description, and price. Of course, they're abbreviated there. I also know in the database that there's a table named item DB. So that's kind of interesting. So it shows me my whole SQL command, and as I examine this command, if you knew SQL, you could really start seeing some stuff you could do with this. Of course, one is knowing the actual names of tables. That's one huge thing. And what column headings, that's big. That's a part of the table. But I'm looking at this right here, magic. I didn't type in single quotes, did I? It automatically put them, because that will denote that magic is ASCII text, something that somebody typed in the search bar and searched with. So yeah. But now I want to test is SQL injection possible. And what SQL injection is you add some symbols and then start putting in some SQL code inside of a form and hope that the browser or the application that's generating this HTML web page doesn't do form validation. It doesn't check for specific SQL commands and eliminate them before they're sent to the database server. So if checks are not done, whoever coded the site, if they didn't have a sanity checker for what somebody types in right here, it could let stuff go right into the database server. Okay, looking at magic, the single quotes there, designate that that's ASCII text. But what happens if I put a single quote? Wouldn't that just close that first single quote? And then all of a sudden it's no longer looking at ASCII text and I can type SQL commands? Probably, if they don't check. And this is what SQL injection is. Now, one thing I'll have to watch, if I don't put another closing single quote, it will it'll continue reading and then it'll hit that one and think everything else is text. And there's always a semicolon. It's not displayed here, but there's always a semicolon that's in SQL that stands for execute the command. So I need to remember to put in the closing one when I'm done. Otherwise, it won't ever read the execute my command. It'll just fail. So I'm going to single quote there. Now I can type ASCII code, not ASCII code, SQL code in here. If you knew SQL, or maybe I just want it to dump the entire item database to the screen. That's what I want to do. So where is normally a limiting. It only displays things when it matches and becomes true. So it was looking for the word magic in item, short description or long description. And if it found it, that would be true and it would show that on the screen. We could force it to say everything is true. And in that case, it will dump every line in the item database to the screen. So every row of every product, even if it's not listed for sale yet, should pop on our screen. We can do that by using an OR. I'm going to do space OR. And I'm going to create some math here, some comparative, and make it true. I'm going to say 1 is equal to 1. Is that true? Yeah. I'm going to hit space. I'm going to put another OR, space, and another quote. So what's going to happen is this is going to be put in the place of magic. So let's look at what that's going to look like. I have a notepad right here. So I've got magic right there, but this here is going to be put in place of magic. So it's going to look like that when it goes in. So that first single quote is going to be escaped and quit. So it's going to read nothing. There's no text. And then it's going to read this, or 1 equal 1, or. So this 1 equal 1 is going to be true. And no matter what was before that single quote or what's after the single quote, if it's true or false, the ORs are going to say, I don't care if anything else is true or false. This is true. So it's true for everything. It's like, I'm going to punch you in the face if you like ice cream or I'm alive. And then the part is, I'm alive is true. No matter whether you like ice cream or not, it didn't matter. You're going to get punched in the face, right? That's sort of what that's saying right there. And then and then that right there closes, hits that other single quote, closes it. Hit search and see if you've got anything, see if you successfully SQL inject and trick the database to dump everything to the screen.
You did.
Are there new items
No.
that weren't listed before? Crystal ball,
The magic hat.
a magic hat.
Magic rabbit.
The magic rabbit was there before.
Toaster.
The toaster was new. That's not a toaster. That's a security appliance disguising as a toaster. There's actually a WatchGuard firewall on the bottom of it.
Nirvana.
That was there before. Now the security, Linus's security blanket wasn't there before.
Bag of fun.
Bag of FUD, $200. Technical support agreement, under 10 grand. Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. Doesn't quite look like what Harry Potter wore, but. And the test item was put in there. So if you've ever heard of SQL injection, that's what SQL injection is.
So I can literally go to any website and type in the whole quote and everything, all that stuff, and it'll inject more everything in it, or does it depend on the website?
It would depend on, well, most sites are coded not to allow that injection. They would have picked up on the single quote and deleted the single quote when it went in and not allowed it to happen. But if sites are vulnerable to SQL injection, yes, you could do something very similar to that on those sites. And of course, if you knew the SQL language, you could put a lot more stuff than or 1 = 1 in there and make it do other things. This made me want to try some different stuff in there, but I've tried different things. It's not worked. I'm sad. So that was kind of neat, SQL injection. I'm going to go look at my scan now and see if it's done yet. Is it any different than the other scan? They're both 5.8s.
I didn't see anything different. I saw still 17 results. So
Yeah, you hear standard.
The last one that we did should also be by date. Mine's still just 17 results.
On 17.
So there's no difference. How depressing. Mine's not going to apparently load up on the screen. Um, I broke it. Okay, well, I'm gonna look at some other stuff in here. I don't get too far ahead. There is a reference manual down here, badstore.net manual 2.1. It gives you an overview of some of the things that it's purposely made vulnerable to, like cross-site scripting, XXS. You may have heard of that before, cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. I don't know if you've heard of SQL injection before, things like that. With just hearing those terms, you know, you don't know what the heck they're talking about until you see it. That's kind of what this one is for. I'm trying to show you what those exploits would be, an example of them, simple examples, so you know when somebody says SQL injection, like I kind of got an idea of what you're talking about. Let's look at some other stuff. I'm going to look at what's new again. Just click on it. And the address bar at the top. That might be some issues. The address bar is giving some information away. I see that CGI is up there, and also see that there's an action and it equals, and then there's a keyword. I could attempt some common action keywords to see if they would do something to the site. So having the server generate URLs that display exactly, you know, what's going on in the background's not always good. You can use different type of server, different type of languages and stuff to help hide that information. But this one is not hiding anything from us. And I can try to change this what's new to something else, like admin. Thing, and maybe it might give me admin. A lot of things use the word admin, so I'm going to hit enter. I was taking the secret admin portal. That's scary. It used to be just about this bad. Windows NT 4.0 was this bad back in the 90s. You go to site and go, / enter. Like, hey, look, I got into the back door. It's a little bit more secure than that. Go ahead and see if you can view the sales report. I was not successful viewing my sales report. It caught my IP. That is, if you're not using an anonymizer. So that's caught. I really wanted this system to show some more stuff. I wanted cookie information, bad SSL certificates per week, cipher suites. Timestamps. Something wrong with my,
I was thinking about it, Mr. Goodman,
yeah.
and I don't think it's a good idea to hack this website. They know my IP address and they know that I'm trying to hack, so we're kind of already breached, and I really don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, okay. Nah. going to do full and very deep ultimate. And see if that does anything. So the other student, his found a robot.txt file in this scan, and he just did a simple scan, he said. So I don't know why his scanner actually worked and ours didn't, but he found a robot.txt file, which is very common. Robot.txt are quite known. You can go to websites and see if you can find a robot.txt by just typing in robot.txt. Wait, why does mine not have robot.txt? Robots? Robots.txt. Okay. Plural. Which makes me wonder. Yep.
Okay. Great.
I'm going to get in trouble. Stop that. Stop messing with ASUBB. Goodman, what are you doing from your class? That was a student. It wasn't me. Come from 106. Instructor machine, though. Okay, so I'm looking at these different spots here. There's a backup folder. Well, I'm going to go and try the backup folder. I didn't find anything in the backup folder to steal. So, okay, cool. Maybe that's good. What about supplier? Maybe there's something good in the supplier folder. Well, there's a flaw. The web server is designed to show the file system if there's not an index.html file there to load the web page up. So that's a big flaw. Now I can see all of the other folders and files, and there is something in here. There's an accounts file. What's in the accounts file, I wonder? Looks like account information. 1001, 1002, those look like user IDs. I wonder what type of code that is. Encrypted some way. They're different length, so it doesn't. Originally checked the first class looking to see if it was an MD5 sum or something, but I should have realized MD5 sums, SHAWs, and stuff are all going to be the same length. Those are different lengths, aren't they? It doesn't look like it's too vicious of a encryption, though. They're not that long. They're fairly short. And I think it's just that part that's encrypted. I'm pretty sure that part's an ID number. So in Cisco, you ever done the line VTY and encrypt the password on it? Have you ever unencrypted that password? It's not really an encryption. It just converts it from base 8 from base 8 to base 64 encoding. I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm just going to check it through that first. Base 64 decode. Those websites that can decode things. I should have let you know in Cisco that you shouldn't run Telnet. You should all use SSH. This is also one of the other reasons, because the password that's stored in your configuration file in Cisco is base 64 encoded. It's kind of like selecting all of text in a document in Microsoft Word and changing the font to wingdings and giving it to somebody. You go, here you go. They just have to change the font. It's about that's almost as complex as this is. Pasting it and clicking decode. So have K bookout / send me a PO. Interesting. Why don't you go in and decode the others and see what they say? That was 104 or 1004. So everybody go into the suppliers and decode the other 3. So if you're decoding, it looks like there might be passwords or usernames in there. I attempted to log in with those accounts into the supplier site and it didn't let me. So, but I did go and try to do that. We will look at a way that we can create an administrator account, our own administrator account later on. Maybe Friday. We'll probably do that on Friday. One of the Haleys. The other Haley is still there. And the one in here is still here. She does her phone and computer, so she can hear and then.
Yeah, right. I don't know, people would laugh at trying to get hard to like do this. I mean, you have it like that. Oh, like that? Yeah, that's different. Whenever you only have one monitor.
If you only have one monitor, it's hard.
Yeah, especially when you're doing Cali next to the. Cali, the one is already super slow. Yeah. Like, so it's not.
Jane user, waiting for Friday. Waiting for Friday definitely sounds like a password. I like the logo BS. Okay, the Badstore Ultimate test scan is finished. And I've got 18 instead of 17 out of 115 things scanned. And maybe that will load up. I wonder what the 18th thing it found. And Jared is still updating his OpenVAS. Takes a long time because I didn't copy the original files over there, so it's having to download everything from scratch. Yours may scan better though, but I'll set this one up from scratch like yours, and it's still not. I don't know what that one kid did in first class, how he got 49 vulnerabilities because it found the robot text and the CGI bins and all that stuff. Well, that's scanning. I'm going to run Talon's scanner that he found. Now is that Python SSH scan. Oh, SSH scan, not HTTPS. What about 443? We'll scan for that. Nope, it won't. Okay, that was only for SSH system, not for the HTTPS protocol. Okay, so there, mine loaded up. And I had one extra thing in here. Man in the middle attacks. Weak cookie information. I think this crash SMC API is the only thing that's new. I don't remember seeing that in my other one. So did you try to log in? Let me go to back to badstore.net. Like supplier login. Did you try Jane user? Uh-oh. It died. Maybe that's why my scan stopped at 18. It crashed. Chase's fault.
I'll take it.
Okay, so still same address, try again. Oh, look, it takes me to a secure site this time around. Try logging as Jane user. And maybe just waiting for Friday's the password. It says enter an email address. And I didn't see an email address. I try to log in. That doesn't work out. So we got to figure out Jane user what the email address would be and see if waiting for Friday's actual password. And there's some other exploits and stuff that we'll get in and pull even more user accounts, passwords out. We might be able to find some MD5. I found MD5s in the past, so we'll work on that. But I think this is as far as we got in the last class. So I think we're just going to call it a day. That was fast, Haley. It's like everybody else is still sitting there trying to process it, and Haley's like, I'm packed up.
Wait, so did you dismiss us or what's going on? Because there's only 4 people, including you.
Yes.
I'll be here Friday. Or Monday.
Well, that's a,
Did you say yes that you dismissed us?
yeah, we got this as far as we got in the first class, and I didn't want to jump ahead of them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was distracted. My brother's on the other side, on the outside of the house right now, right next to where I am. He's got music jamming, and he had the pressure washer running too, which was really loud. So I actually had to turn up my volume so I could listen and hear what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm going to rescan mine since it crashed that first time around. That's also why I wanted to let you go so I could do another scan to see. There's no point in y'all just sitting waiting till the end of class for it to get done.